You're listening to the Big Sci Fi Podcast,
the biggest sci-fi podcast in the galaxy.
You're listening to the Big Sci Fi Podcast, the biggest sci-fi podcast in the galaxy, with Adina, Brian, Chris, and Steve. We're a part of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network, and we're having more fun than ever celebrating our 10th season and 4 years of friendship talking all things science fiction. Calling all sci-fi fans, you're invited to the party. Let's have some fun. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, aliens from across the galaxy, it is I, John Donahue. I'm just kidding. That's not my name. My name is Brian Donahue, but in a few moments, we're going to be talking about a film. An adventure film, a cult classic, a science fiction film. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. It's a film from 1984. It's a cult classic about a polymath neurosurgeon. I can't even read tonight. They've brainwashed me, fellas. I feel like I'm brainwashed. The neurosurgeon, physicist, rock star, that's a combination.
Yep.
Who battles interdimensional aliens with his band, the Hong Kong Cavaliers, after accidentally opening a portal to the eighth dimension. Directed by W.D. Richter, it stars Peter Weller as Buckaroo Banzai and features a quirky, genre-blending plot involving good and evil aliens from Planet 10, led by the villainous John Worfin, played hilariously by none other than John Lithgow. Despite low box office returns, its unique style and memorable characters have cemented its status as a beloved cult film, known for its memorable end credits sequence and a promised sequel that never materialized. That was quite hysterical. We'll talk about that. This film stars the aforementioned Peter Weller and John Lithgow. It's also got a what's his name? Jeff Goldblum. That's right. Ellen Barkin, Christopher Lloyd, Lewis Smith, Clancy Brown, Dan Hedaya. It's got a venerable cast of people that went on to do other legendary sci-fi roles and characters and other very much classic and huge box office hits. And we might get into that today. And there's actually an Enterprise connection there. Do you guys know what that is off the top of your head? Clancy Brown.
Yeah,
was in an Enterprise episode. The Football in the Desert episode.
Oh, yes, Desert Crossing.
There you go.
I think it's Desert Crossing season 2. They're trying to get to Risa.
Yeah. We have watched this film. And we're going to talk about it. Tonight is just the three amigos. It's Steve, Chris, and myself. I'm Brian from Ohio. And we're going to have fun talking about this quirky little movie and what we think about it. So before we dive into it, fellas, how you doing? How's the weather in your neck of the woods? And we would be remiss, Steve, without saying happy birthday to you, Mr. Christian Fox. It's his birthday as we record this. We're very honored that you chose to spend part of your celebration day with us, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that. First thing I did this morning when I woke up, I went over to my Ontario Service Canada, changed my name. I'm officially Jonathan Fox. To fit with
is that true? Oh, no. Okay. You're just kidding. Okay.
It's all part of the bit of John. We should just do that. It's a silly bit, everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
You had me going, man. I thought you were like, what? No, He's made this life decision.
No, I'm still Christian Fox.
Okay.
I tell you, Christian, that is not funny. Dr. Lazario, who would appreciate that you are making a fun of your own voice and your own name. I get so angry.
I tell you,
this is going to break me tonight.
Oh, you guys, laugh all you want, monkey boys, because this guy is going to talk like this until you tell me to shut up. And then I'm going to get in my little race spaceship and go to the eighth dimension to meet the real Lord Warfare. The
So the
end.
question is John Lithgow's character in this film, which he plays Dr. Emilio Lizardo, Lord John Worfen,
That's right.
is he the now I can't think of the dude's character in Star Wars Phantom Menace with the weird accent.
Are you thinking
No,
of Jar Jar Banks?
he's
Is
channeling.
he the Jar Jar Binks of this film?
Oh no,
offending half the...
no.
Okay.
He is channeling the leader of the Italian government during World War II, Mussolini. Especially when he's in the coat, and he's standing up on the rafters, and he's going,
That's
and
right.
he's yelling, "You will do this. It is because this is what I say. I am a Lord Worfen." That's right.
How soon are we leaving? Really soon.
Soon,
That's one of my favorite parts of the movie right there. But we have, just to set this up a little bit, we have been Steve has been suggesting this film for quite some time now, and we have been putting it off, not because we wanted to, just because we've had other things we wanted to talk about too. And so finally, when it came my time, I'm like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and hit this film. Steve talks highly, says it's a fun film. And I said, let's just go ahead and do this. And so we're going to talk about this film. Like I said, it's from 1984. It's got a lot of stuff in it that says, yeah, this was an 80s film for sure. Synthesizers in the soundtrack and music and the rock band type gimmick here.
Right down to Perfect Tommy having the great Talking Heads shoulder pad jacket on. I mean,
my goodness. Yeah. Such an 80s film. And like I've read a few little blurbs about it, like it's definitely got some iconic, in it's got a cult following, kind of some quirkiness to this, and a ton of people in the cast. I mean, a ton of people, even that I didn't mention, that you will have seen. It's got Christopher Lloyd. I don't think I mentioned Christopher Lloyd.
Oh my God,
is in it.
Good year for
with
him.
the greatest name, John Big Booty.
John
Big
Booty. It's Booty, not Booty. Yeah. Oh man, so many hilarious one-liners in this.
Yeah.
So Steve,
and I tell you,
why don't you? Yeah,
okay,
go ahead.
No. You can finish what
I
you're
was just gonna say, I want to kind of let you tell us why you suggested this film. What about it specifically? We'll just kind of let you give your first general take on this film.
I saw this film 40 years ago, not in the theater, but actually on VHS tape in like 1986. And when I saw it again, we're in the heat of the 1980s, so this film fit perfectly, and it was just hilarious. It was just so funny and quirky and unique. And it's got so many great lines. Real soon, like you said. And probably the greatest line, to me, one of the greatest lines that have ever been uttered in any film is when Peter Weller sees Ellen Barkin looking sad. And he says, "No matter where you go, there you are." And she goes, "What?" And that line has been synonymous with a feeling of like, you're making some advice, but it's completely pointless because yes, wherever you go, there you are. It's just that. John Lithgow's over the top performance is absolutely, it made me appreciate his talent as a comedic actor. He was remarkable in the film, The World According to The World According to Garp. And he just, I mean, who could not just love him reprising this egotistical character as he did in Third Rock from the Sun.
Right.
Yeah.
John Lithgow has had so many big time performances in film and television.
Yeah.
Like he really has got some roles and characters that he's played through the years that just you can't imagine anybody else playing them.
Yeah, and he played
and it's
Winston
remarkable.
Churchill in a film.
Yes,
Very
yes.
straight, serious acting skills that he has as well when needed. And kind of like our good friend John Billingsley, can do humor, can do drama, and play the most evil person if need be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where he's at his best. But so I've just ever since I've loved this film. I couldn't find it. I'm so sorry, but one year at one of the Star Trek conventions, I got a Yo-Yo-Dyne Propulsion employee card.
Oh, nice.
It had, I think, John Big Booty on it, and I couldn't find it. I wanted to show it to you guys, but I couldn't find it whatever happened to it. But it's just the film is just, it's unique. It's and again, what did you guys think of it? Because you just saw it 85 minutes ago.
How about you, Chris? Go ahead.
Yeah, I liked aspects of it. I don't think I enjoyed it the way you enjoyed it. I don't know what it was. I feel like maybe there was something missing for me, but I liked a lot of the little one-liners. I loved wherever you go, you're there.
Yeah,
that kind of made me laugh.
Yeah.
The over-the-topness was fun. I just felt like there was just, I don't know what it was that it was missing for me, but they just didn't all quite come together. But again, I loved how much everybody knew Buckaroo. And I love, what did they call, what was the squad? Not like his crew, but like he could just go on the radio and be like, oh, Buckaroo needs help. And then other Buckaroo fans or
the
people would be like, oh my God, Dad,
Blue
Buckaroo
Coat
needs help.
Irregulars. The Blue Coat Irregulars would jump in at the last moment.
So I liked all of that stuff. I love the fact that in this world, he was everything. And even the president was like, well, he's never made a mistake before. So we got to go do what Buckaroo says we got to do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right. Yeah. Brian, what did you think of it?
I enjoyed it for, I think, what it is. I did not go in. I watched a couple trailers and I got a sense of what the flavor of the film would be before I actually watched it. So it kind of helped set the tone, and it helped me go like, okay, don't take this too seriously.
No.
This is definitely tongue in cheek. And it's got a certain vibe to it. And so with that in mind, I think that actually helped me. Like, we've talked a lot recently as a podcast. Adina's mentioned it. Typically, I don't watch trailers if I've never seen a movie and we're going to talk about it. I'm right with Adina. I like to be surprised. I want to see it fresh without anybody telling me what I should think. But this time I didn't do that, and I had watched it, a couple things about it. And so it really helped set the tone. It helped set my expectation, I think was positive for me. And so watching this now, unfortunately, this was one of the films I ended up watching more on my phone. And so I saw it on a very small screen. I wish I could have put it up on the TV. I just didn't have the opportunity to do that this time around. But I enjoyed it. Like, is it the best thing I've ever watched? No, I don't think, Steve, you would say that either by any stretch of the imagination.
This is definitely this is truly a cult classic, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Right.
You watch this film like you watch, oh God, I'm probably, movie just popped out on my head. Any film from the early 70s or so that are even like when we watched the Battle Beyond the Stars.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's a terrible film, but it's a cult classic because of its uniqueness,
Yeah.
Rocky Horror Picture Show from the 1970s. There's a cult classic. Didn't do anything in the theater, but it is beloved now.
It is. That is beloved. Yeah.
And I really did enjoy seeing all the different actors that have done much better stuff, much more mainstream stuff than this, even acclaimed. Like, a lot of these actors that were in this have their own level of acclaimedness, if that's a word, for other roles they've been in. And there's some Star Trek connections throughout this movie too, as far as actors.
Peter Weller's
Yeah.
most famous role, like his most critically acclaimed role, was Star Trek Into Darkness. I'm sorry, I couldn't even get the joke out.
We're also, tongue in cheek,
I actually
folks.
love
This
that
whole
movie,
evening is tongue in cheek. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
do
mean,
too. And
I
and
get
I
it. And
think
he was the supervillain at the end of Enterprise, the last 2 episodes.
Oh yeah,
That's
he
right.
was right.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
yeah, oh yeah, so true. So I think it's got the great Christopher Lloyd, who we all love from Taxi, from Back to the Future,
God.
from Star Trek 3.
Which was
The Search
apparently
for
out at the
Spock.
same time. I
Yes.
think they like in the theaters at the same time or
Yes.
around
Oh, that's
maybe same
interesting.
opening
Okay.
weekend.
Yes,
if I read it correctly on Wikipedia.
That's correct. Yes. So
Okay.
it was battling Star Trek fans who were eager to find out what happened to Spock, because the word was out that it was the search for Spock.
That's for Spock,
we
yeah.
got to go find out what happened to him. How do they resurrect his dead body? Okay, let's go from there.
And again, like, I don't know. I just there's something in me that just loves a good Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah,
stutter.
he was so
and,
good. Like
he-
it was.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
Oh, I was just gonna say that one scene. The aliens kept changing back and forth between their alien form and their human form because of their mind washing or those spiders or whatever. In that scene where Jeff Goldblum is realizing that the good alien, which I think they called the black alien.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yes, yes.
It's a decision they made.
And the red
in the
aliens, you had
movie.
the black and the black were the good, the red were the evil ones.
Right,
in the film.
right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
to see him realize that alien is changing shape in his head, and to see his little, Jeff Goldblum is the king of just hilarious little looks and stares that are, you just go, he's looking, he's like, what in the world is happening? And then he looks back at him again through his fingers, and I'm laughing hysterically. And my kids watch the second half of the movie. So talk about a bad film to bring kids in halfway through. They know it's already confusing. And they were asking a ton of irritating questions, as good questions, but like, guys, I don't know. Actually, I know none of the answers to these questions. But I'm laughing hysterically at Jeff Goldblum and just his stares looking at this alien who keeps changing human alien, and they're like, "What's so funny?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh!"
It's just they don't know Jeff Goldblum yet. They need to get introduced to Jeff Goldblum, and it's perfect because no matter what movie he's in, like no matter the decade, he's Jeff Goldblum, and I'm like, this is perfect. I love anything with him in it. I didn't understand the cowboy suit, but I liked it.
Yes, because he's New Jersey in the story. His nickname is New Jersey. Like New Jersey in the cowboy suit. I don't get it, but that was the absurdity of it. Here's a little true story that happened. A few months ago, I read for the Children's Hospital, and on a Friday I was doing it, and they told me, can you give up your time because someone's going to be reading to the kids? I said, sure. Who is? I said, well, you really can't say. It's a celebrity. Well, I went there to go help out. And who's the celebrity? John. It is Jeff Goldblum.
Oh
Jeff
my goodness!
Goldblum. And you're telling me
Jeff
what's he doing on the
Goldblum
podcast?
took 15 minutes to read a short story. Because he is so funny. He is so animated, and he is always Jeff Goldblum. And he is, and I don't know, maybe it was established in this film, that style that he has, that kind of staccato style, but super funny guy. And he comes through in this as well. But Christopher Lloyd, oh my God, he just does that deadpan bit. Angry deadpan that is just hilarious.
And it's him. It's again. I heard his voice. Because I'm like, what? That's Christopher Lloyd's in this.
Right.
Like it was. Oh, just this. It's kind of a whimsical film. Really,
Mhm.
like there's, and then that iconic end credit scene of them all walking, in that dam or whatever gorge, whatever it is,
That
and
is the Sepulveda Basin flood control facility out here, only about
oh,
4 or 5 miles from my house is where that's located, where they
oh
shot
wow,
that.
cool.
Was that in
And
Terminator 2? That same place?
probably so. It probably was, because it's iconic in its construction and what it looks like.
Yeah.
But if you saw that ending, it was so much like watching an 80s rock video that would have been on MTV, with the music and the marching and the footwork by Peter Weller. It just really ultimate 80s rock
and
video.
it also kind of, there's two things about that I want to talk about. There's I also got like an 80s version of like an Ocean's 11 end scene of them walking at the end of their heist, like the team all coming together. So that, but also there were moments in this film where I swear Peter Weller is channeling Frank Sinatra. There are moments where his cadence of speaking, I could close my eyes and go, that sounds like Sinatra. Like, I wonder if he in moments was trying to mimic that, because Peter Weller has a very distinct, just like Jeff Goldblum, it's Jeff Goldblum, just like Christopher Lloyd. I mean, there's other I mean, George Clooney has this. George Clooney has a very unique voice. It's George Clooney. And so the same thing with Peter Weller. So when I heard it, and I can't remember exactly which scene in particular, but I was just like, I wonder if he was trying to sound like Sinatra in that one scene at least, because it just sounded like him.
Well, it's funny because it says here that the Weller stated that he based his character on Elia Kazan, Jacques Cousteau, Albert Einstein, Leonardo da Vinci, and the great 80s musician Adam Ant. So, there was a lot going on.
I take it,
but that's what it said. But see, that's the impression you got from his performance, that you could see that he could easily have been channeling the way Sinatra was.
Right. And I half the time, you say you're trying to channel or combine people. I think Peter Weller is one of those guys, like Jeff Goldblum. Chris, you stated this. You get Peter Weller. You get Jeff Goldblum.
You get Peter Weller in whatever
We've talked about this with other actors too. I mean, I think, like, going way back, the Gary Coopers, the John Waynes, Humphrey Bogarts. I mean, you're really getting them as far as male actors. And so I think Peter Weller is kind of one of those guys. And then you get a guy like John Lithgow, who is really one of the great character actors of our time. He can play anything, and he has through his career. And this is, like, at first when I heard his voice, I'm like going, oh God, that's terrible. Like, this is clearly early John Lithgow. He hasn't quite perfected his craft yet. But as the film went on, holy crap, did he sell it to me. Like, he was all in on this character. You had to be all in on this type of ridiculous character, and it's a beautiful thing to watch, if you can call it beauty. It's definitely art.
It is.
It's a craft that he hit.
It is. Yeah. It's also cute how they tied this whole thing in to the 1938 War of the Worlds broadcast. Which my father heard on the radio when he was living in New York on
live?
October 30. On live.
Oh, wow.
And realized it was true, that there was a commotion for the people who didn't, because at the beginning of the broadcast, they say, this is just a radio drama. But when people who missed that opening, people were actually terrified that the world, that we were being invaded by Martians, because it was so real on the radio. And so they tie in Grover's Mill, New Jersey. That's where the landing occurred in the original radio broadcast by Orson Welles. And it's just so funny how they tie that whole thing in with Dr. Lizardo trying to go through into the eighth dimension, getting stuck halfway through the wall, like Harry Potter's cart or something going through the wall. Right. You know,
and I want to say that's when Jeff Goldblum is having that discussion with the gang about Orson Welles' broadcast. That's when I decided I like this movie. Because I just thought that was a really fun twist. And didn't Orson Welles have to make a public apology?
Oh, yes. The next day. He had to the next day. It came out in the newspapers. There was a commotion over it, and he had to come out and apologize, I believe, to the listening public on, I think it was CBS that broadcast it, that this was just a radio drama, and that he did establish at the beginning and at the end. He also says, some words to the effect of, we've let you into our home. We told you the story. We hope you've enjoyed it. But people didn't take that. They reacted. And I mean, we are seeing that today with generated video by AI. Where you're going, is wild. That real or not? It looks real. It sure feels real. Is that really Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise fighting it out for 15 seconds? No, it isn't. It's make believe. And so we suffer this. We're going through the same thing that they did back then, that the medium that you had, which was radio, had to be believed without question. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I used to have a cassette of that recording.
Good for you.
You need to listen to it, Christian.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it on YouTube or something.
Yeah, because it starts out, it has Orson Welles introducing the broadcast, saying, and then it's what it is now we're going to go into our musical part, the band, this, da-da-da, and their musical whatever. And then so you're hearing just music like you would be listening to on a regular program. And then a news flash comes in and you hear the news reporter about this weird object. And then it goes, and now back to our regular scheduled program. And so you're listening to the music. It's wonderful music from the time, and then it keeps going back. So if you did not catch that beginning, especially back in that day when the radio was king of how you got that type of information, it's worth it, and it still holds up to this day. As I remember it, it is a very well done dramatic presentation. So
yes, plus with all the effects, the aircraft sounds, the bombs, screaming, people, it was, you listen to it, like you said, Brian, and Chris, yes, give it a listen if you can find it. No, it's about an hour's long or so, but it is truly amazing what the medium at that time could do and what it can do today as well for us, So, but it was cute that they tied that all in together. Then everybody being born on that particular day, all with the first name of John Smallberries, John Big Booty, John
Booty. It's Booty, not Booty. Oh, you are the most negative person I ever know. John Lithgow. Really, I loved, my son got a kick out of the little kid with the machine gun.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was interesting. That was a choice.
How does he have that gun? And does he know how to use it? Why does he have that gun, Dad? Son, it's a choice they made. I don't know. In holding also, the Secretary of State hostage.
Yes.
Right. The way Jeff, like they all got out of their van or whatever you want to call it, their vehicle, weirdly, when they're like in the third act. But the way Jeff Goldblum comes out and looks around and walks away when he has his gun, it's perfect. Just so silly. But I do wonder though if I should have watched the trailer, because I was like, I'm not going to watch the trailer. I'm just going to go into it. And then I felt like for the whole movie, I was waiting for, I was thinking, he goes through the eighth dimension. And I thought they're going to have a scene where they're going to have to go back. And I thought the movie was going to be in the eighth dimension. I was like, all right, when are they going to the eighth dimension? not
Right.
realizing,
I think that's
oh no,
yeah.
it's just them. It's just people from the eighth dimension coming over. So that part, I feel like. What's it? Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Pardon me. Excuse me. Yeah, I think I was kind of with you, Chris. Waiting, are we going to actually see the eighth dimension all the way, and how are they going to do that? And part of me wonders if they thought, I don't think we can do this budget wise convincingly, and so let's just have them come, have it all be here on Earth, and then we'll just talk about the eighth dimension. If that was a budget decision, or they just said, no, it's all going to be on Earth so that it can be recognizable to people, because there's so much far out stuff already in this, in the story and the film and everything. But I was kind of wondering how and I was picturing almost like a Tron type setting in the eighth dimension almost. But it was interesting. The aliens were very kind of slimy looking, like inside their ships, and yeah, it was interesting.
I liked what we saw of the eighth dimension, like the skeletons coming at him and just all the weird stuff. Yeah, it was very like Tron-y.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was hoping for a little bit more, but I guess that makes sense. They wanted to keep it more recognizable, and maybe it was a budget thing. But I think like had I watched the trailer, I might have had a better idea of what to expect. I think I need to rewatch this movie. I think ultimately because it felt like there was a lot going on in it.
There is a tremendous
come together.
But as I said to Brian earlier today, when I watched it, I actually put on closed caption because the dialogue hits you so quickly and so fast, and it goes back and forth that you need that kind of reminding what is the heck going on. Lots being thrown at you, and that's the beauty of the film. It's dialogue heavy, and it's fun because of that, because of the lines that they put into the film, the way that they spoke to each other. I think that's where the charm in this movie comes from.
And the two hunters, fantastic. I love their little conversation when they see the alien shell or ship or whatever you want to call it. Like that gave me a good chuckle.
That was right out of the 1956 War of the Worlds film, where two hunters come across the giant sphere and the Martian war machine comes out of the top of it and vaporizes them in War of the Worlds. But this one, they're just silly couple of idiots that shoot it. It's like that's what you always do when you see an alien. The first thing is shoot it, because rather than, hey, how you doing? Oh, okay. I mean, it's almost like the mirror universe in Enterprise where the Vulcans show up, and what do? They pull out a shotgun.
They just shoot the Vulcans. But I also just love, they're like, oh yeah, like I can feel feels like there's electricity here, and we're standing in a bunch of water and they don't move.
It's like,
right.
And I feel like, get out of the water at that point.
Right.
And then that officer like, don't do anything, fellas. And Christopher Lloyd's like, okay, I'm going to do something. I'm going to hit it again or whatever. Like, how about we'll just do this? I mean it, fellas. Don't do a thing. All right, we're going to crack her open. I just saw, there's this article. I'm not going to read it, but it says, it's from The Guardian, and it says,
wow.
Here's the title of this article. It says, I still don't know what it's about. Buckaroo Banzai. Which
if you were confused about the ending of 2001, forget it, kids. We got you on this one in bizarro-ness.
It does end like, I think, it's different, and I think quirky is just a really good word. That's the number one word I would use for this. It's tongue in cheek. You can't watch this and expect to understand absolutely every aspect of it, at least the first time. But surely, if you understand it's tongue in cheek, was this based on a comic book? Is this movie made solely out of someone's imagination, or was it based on a book, a series?
If you read the Wikipedia on it's coming about, the screenplay and stuff, it had been something developed over about a 10-year period. Repeated changes. It said originally it was going to be Buckaroo Banzai rather than Buckaroo Banzai, so that changed. then it was going to originally be called Find the Jet Car, Said the President, a Buckaroo Banzai thriller. It went through a number of rewrites and rewrites and rewrites.
Each one of those names is incredibly long, just like the name they landed on.
Even in this one,
The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai in the Eighth Dimension.
It says an early draft was entitled The Strange Case of Mr. Cigars, about a huge robot and a box of Adolf Hitler's cigars. So you can see that it had gone through many generations of bizarreness before it finally ended up where it was, and when they showed the script to the various actors, they decided, this is what they wanted to do. This was going to be a fun film to be a part of. And I think that's the one thing about certain ensemble cast films where maybe one character is remotely the lead in it, but everyone else has their own little shtick that makes them unique in the story.
Yeah.
And
this film is worth watching if you love these actors and perhaps you've never seen this film and you want to see them, most of them at least somewhat early in their careers, if not. I think it's great fun to see John Lithgow at this stage. Great fun to see Christopher Lloyd, although most of the time he's in makeup. But again, they go back and forth. They go, but those weird spider things.
Yeah, that was very confusing.
And I do wish that there was one thing I wish they would have had a little more creativity with, is with the rocket machine, the truck, the vehicle. It's not, that was, if I'm going to critique this movie and say I wish they would have thought a little harder on it, I wish they would have come up with a cooler looking vehicle
than a Ford F-150 truck with a jet engine on it.
Maybe they thought this would be great. It's recognizable. People will go, oh, look at what they did. That's great. I wish they could have made that vehicle a little bit cooler. But really, that's, of all the technical things you could critique in movies, it still gets they still get a get out of jail free card from me for that, because the cast is stellar. The makeup's fine. The action sequences are fine too. Even that stuff's tongue in cheek to a degree.
Yeah.
And I found this movie honestly to be well paced. I didn't have a part of it where I went, oh geez, I wish maybe I should fast forward a minute or two, I found the pace to be fine. The music fine for what it is. And
the music was okay.
The costuming was also fine in it. I'm glad we watched this, Steve. I'm glad we finally.
Well, it was surprising because I had thought you had seen it when you chose to do it. That when you said to me you were watching it for the first time today, I went, wow, okay. But then again, when we did Battle Beyond the Stars, you were like, what is this movie?
Yeah.
And that's the great thing is because.
And at the end of it, I said, what is this movie? What happened?
But that's the thing. There is so much material out there. There's so many movies that you may not know anything about, but it's worth making the adventure. You might turn it off after 5 minutes going, this is really bad. What am I doing watching this? This is horrid. Or you might go, I got to see how this goes. I got to see where it leads. I got to see how they end the storyline. What's going on here? And you might be pleasantly surprised that, the journey was worth it. And I think that's the beauty of having what we have now, which is all this streaming service that allows us to watch really interesting old films. I mean, there are some amazing old science fiction films that we haven't even touched on. We've never even gone to When Worlds Collide from the 1950s. That's a great film. Or we haven't even talked about the original War of the Worlds with, or God, even going forward into the 60s and so other science fiction films that came out during that time. I mean, we decided to watch the original Planet of the Apes from
Yeah,
1969.
right, we did.
And I mean, if you only knew the new Planet of the Apes and never gave the original one a shot, you would know where the origin of it was from. So, I mean, we're at a lucky time right now with being able to find quirky and different films.
And I wonder too, guys, if they said this wasn't a box office smash by any stretch of the imagination, and probably why there was no sequel or additional film because of lack of luster at the box office. I wonder if, like today, if this cast got together to do a film, it'd probably draw a ton. I wonder if these guys, if that's part of the reason why now it's a cult classic. It's not just because of its quirkiness, but because of a lot of these actors went on to great fame with other roles. I mean, all of them, you could say, have some sort of iconic roles in a wide variety, but especially in science fiction.
Yeah. I mean,
all these actors went on to do amazing things after this film, and so I think that could be one reason that fuels its cult classic status,
because you get to see the progression of these young actors. Starting off, Peter Weller, this was one of his very first roles he ever played, and he starred in it, and then he went on to make RoboCop, and he went on to make other films, and you could see where his acting skills are really there. Whereas, as you said, John Lithgow's comedic skills there. John Lithgow, Christopher Lloyd, his acting skills. Jeff Goldblum establishing himself from his acting skills, and just seeing where they are today. This is like an origin film for their acting ability, where they kind of establish their style of acting. So that's really the beauty of it.
Let's do two things to kind of wrap up this conversation. We've asked these. Of course, we're going to do what you guys call the famous Brian Donahue rating system, whatever, however you guys word that when you're hosting. We'll do that second. But first, is this film, as a science fiction fan, worth the time to go and watch so that you can say, yes, I've seen this film and I would recommend this to others? Or, is it worth it as a science fiction fan in general to add this to something that you have seen? We'll let Chris, we'll let you go first.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I didn't love the movie. I think I need to give it a second watch, or maybe watch through, just because I don't think everything came together for me. But I feel like this is just a good movie to watch. You get a little bit of history. It's fun seeing all of these big name actors early in their career all working together. I also think it's just fun as a science fiction fan and as a movie buff, just to like broaden your horizons a little bit and to see something that is very much of the time. Even if you don't love it, I think it's still a good experience. And like just wondering where the heck this movie was going was worth it for me. Seeing Dill react to it and being like, what the heck is going on? Made it worth it. So I'd say, give it a try.
Okay.
You maybe won't love it necessarily, but I think it's worth watching. And it's only an hour and 43 minutes, which I like movies that are a bit more concise than the longer epics that we have today.
Right.
I'd say, definitely give it a try.
Okay. Thanks, Steve.
Without a doubt. I think this is a film that everyone should see at least once and come away with their own opinion of it. Again, is this a pure science fiction film? Is there any great mystery about it? Or is there some philosophy? Are we going to learn a lesson from it, about, like a Forbidden Planet, or even a Day the Earth Stood Still, where it teaches you a lesson, and the science fiction is very important by that basis? No, sometimes it's just fun to have fun. And this film is just fun. And that's all there is to it. And is this a pure science fiction film? Probably not, because of the silliness of it. But you know what? That's its charm. As we've said many times already, there's the charm of this film is its quirkiness, its silliness, and so on. Brian,
Not.
what about
Yeah,
yourself?
I am gonna say a absolute positive yes. It's worth as a science fiction fan for a quirky, offbeat cult classic. Is it sci-fi? Is it not? I think it borders okay enough that I would say yes. It doesn't deal. I mean, unless the wherever you are, there you
You're
are.
there.
That's kind of
Wherever you go,
existential,
there you
dude.
are.
Like that's like just maybe that's deeper than the three of us. If Adina was here, maybe she could unpack that more for us. I don't know, but I really do say yes. I think it's interesting enough, and watch it with a light heart and spirit.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of you have to suspend a lot of disbelief in this film. And for me, sometimes it is fun to just let that all go and to just
Mm-hmm.
enjoy a film for what it is and to not judge it too harshly. Is this First Contact? No. Is it The Day the Earth Stood Still? Absolutely not. Is it A Forbidden Planet? No. Uh, I'll tell you what though, I would watch this before I rewatch Moonfall or Outland.
There you
So
go.
I think that is yeah, I mean, I would rewatch this. I'd probably watch it differently though. I would pay attention more to some details
Mm-hmm.
and see what I can piece together plot wise and what's really happening. Like
Yeah.
I just watched it and enjoyed the whimsy of it, and the 80s-ness of it was a lot of
Yeah,
fun too.
that's just it. It is
Really
truly,
was.
like I said, it's a child of the 80s, is what this film
Mm-hmm.
is, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And then that ending scene too is great. The credits.
Yeah,
You
that
got to
was really
watch
cool,
the
actually.
credits and watch them walking. It's pretty hip and cool, man. So
Mm-hmm.
all right, so on a scale of 1 to 5, it's time. We've been real this. I was about to say, let's get real. We've been real the whole podcast.
Of course
for
we
Yeah,
have.
we've been real.
We've shared our honest opinions.
Except for the voice. So that's no fun. That's not real.
Yeah.
That's not real.
All right, Luigi, knock it off over there. We we here at the Big Sci-Fi Podcast like to rate things on a scale of 1 to 5 stars. 1 being we hated it, 5 being it's outstanding, exceeded expectation, fantastic. So, Chris, we'll let you go first again, sir. What would you give this film as far as how many stars and why?
Probably a 2.5. I liked aspects of it. I enjoyed things about the movie, but I think I need to rewatch it because, again, for me, it just didn't quite feel complete. I don't know what's missing, but I think maybe it's just there's so much going on that I need to rewatch it, focus a bit more. But yeah, I'd say 2.5.
Okay.
We'll see. Maybe I will reevaluate and see if we can get up to a 3 with a rewatch.
Very
Okay.
fair. Steve, how about you, sir?
I'll give this film a 3.5. And I'm being a little more generous than I really maybe should be, but it is endearing. And
Yes,
again,
yeah.
watching just these actors in their infancy of acting and establishing who they were, that's where the movie gets that extra half a point from.
Gotcha. I like that. And just so our listeners know, it is really fun when we get together on the Big Sci-Fi and talk about our favorite films or films we enjoy. And we don't all have to enjoy them. But it is fun. Like you can see it in Steve's face. Just the fun he has watching and talking about this movie is in that is fantastic. I love that joy you have talking about this, Steve, and I get it. I see why. I see why you were recommending it. So I'm gonna give it, and I want I'm giving it a very positive 2.5. This is probably my most enthusiastic positive 2.5 of all our ratings we've ever had. I think, like you said, Steve, the cast of this really elevates this film. If these are other actors that never go on to do other things, that don't have the personalities all of these actors have, and even the smaller roles in this film are actors that have been in other noticeable things that, were really good. So I think the cast really elevated this storyline and sold it tremendously well. And even with how chaotic it can feel and like what's going on actually, I don't know, I'm not sure I understand it all, but I'm not I didn't want to stop watching it. Like I wanted to watch the whole thing, and I was laughing and enjoying it for what it is. So this is my most positive 2.5 I'll ever give probably on the podcast. Like you should. And I want to reaffirm, you should go see this film too. It's on Prime Video. If
it's on Prime, it's free.
Yep.
Except for commercials.
Well, except for commercials. That was really annoying.
Yes.
But all right, and off camera, and next time we see her, we'll have to ask Adina if she actually watched it and what her thoughts. It'd be interesting to get some of her thoughts too, just for us. So, guys, thank you for spending another Wednesday night together here at the Big Sci-Fi. Christian, happy birthday, sir.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate it. 35 years old now, which is wild.
35 years old. Yeah, youngin'. Youngin'.
I remember half my life ago being 35. But you know what? When I was 35, I was very happy because a lot of things were really good in our lives. So yes,
that's good.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you guys. We miss Adina. Guys, it's been fun, and I hope you've had fun listening to this episode of the Big Sci-Fi Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe in all the right places. And guys, we're really asking you, like and subscribe in all the right places. It really helps with our ratings and getting the podcast before more people. It helps with all the algorithms on all the podcasts platforms and everything. So don't forget to hit those buttons, and make sure you listen to us on the Trek Geeks Podcast Network. We love being a part of that podcast network. And don't forget to check out all the great shows there as well. Until next time, I'm John Donahue, signing off. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Big Sci-Fi Podcast. We're a proud part of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network, and you can listen to more of our over 150 episodes at trekgeeks.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel now. Until next time, live long and prosper.